Just like I don't want to be an entrepreneur who works 16 hours a day, and is obsessed with money and does nothing else. I want to be fit and healthy, but I don't want to be someone who is obsessed with my physique and is constantly chasing numbers in the gym and spends hours and hours in the gym and is always counting calories of everything because I have to make sure that I keep a crisp six pack, and I get a existential crisis if I put on like 0.5% of body fat, and I'm obsessed with like protein powders and so on, and I'm shooting up steroids and God knows what, right? That's also like this this like slippery slope that you can go down, where you get bigger and stronger and fitter and more miserable at the same time. So same there. I want the good parts of this without falling into the traps of obsession and identification and so on with it. And then the same across all kinds of stuff, right? I basically want to be able to manage, I want to design my life and the different areas of my life so that this stuff is taken care of and so that it's deliberate. So another thing would be like your social life, right? I think a problem that I realized at some point in my life is that my social life was completely by accident, I hadn't made any conscious decisions. It was just like, you stumble across a social circle, or you stumble into a social circle or something. And then if you're lucky, the people there are great. If you're not, then it's kind of toxic and it's horrible. Well, I want to be in a situation where I can design, where I can take charge of that, where I can say, I want this kind of experience in my social life and do that again without it taking all of my time and energy, right? It's in a way you can think of it as I want to establish these systems across all dimensions of life that help me lead a good life without falling into any like hole of obsession.
Got you. And for some reason, and you're going to love this because you're a martial arts nutter, there's a link to martial arts that springs to mind for me here. So the idea is that with a traditional martial art, you develop this skill where you can handle yourself. And the virtue in this is that when you can really handle yourself, you can cause chaos, you can cause damage, but you have the freedom to choose not to. You can use it if you want to. You can also choose not to. The point is, it's now a choice. It's not that you're helpless, because that's not virtuous, really. It's just like you're helpless. You couldn't protect someone if you wanted to. So it's not a choice. It's not freedom because you couldn't do it if you wanted to. So you're just basically helpless. The choice is already made for you. So the parallel with martial arts in this way, let's use finance as an example. If you haven't developed the skill of cultivating financial freedom, of creating wealth in your life, it's like you don't have freedom. You're just going to be broke. So if you were to make a decision about frugality, it's not based on your own choice. It's that you couldn't create wealth if you wanted to. Exactly. So the idea is that you develop, and if I'm not mistaken, this is the idea. You develop the skill of wealth generation because that gives you the freedom. And when you develop that skill, you could create wealth left, right, and center. But the Ikaria way is like, we're choosing frugality here. We're choosing to not go to excess Dan Bilzerian levels. Yeah. The Ikaria way is choosing. It does seem to me like there's a parallel with the Ikaria way, martial arts, the philosophy that drives a lot of these martial arts traditions, and also the sort of Buddhist middle way.
Yeah.